scored in round 4 after just 3 minutes. John Mullin helping the 8,500 Chuckle brothers and sisters crammed in at Millmoor to hold their sides in glee. But Crewe managed what Southampton couldn't. They equalised through Jeff Thomas, himself a cup finalist with Crystal Palace back in 1990. But Rotherham went into the interval leading 2-1. Chris Sedgwick's shot was set up volleyball style by keeper Ademola Bankole, and Paul Warne did the rest. Rotherham for the 5th round, anyone? Not yet, because Dario Gradi has unearthed yet more precious young stones destined to dangle around Premiership clubs' necks in the future. Chief amongst them is Dean Ashton, who scored twice in 5 minutes to put Crewe in front at 3-2. And if his first goal showed the top clubs what he can do from long range, his second showed them what he can do close in. And as Rotherham searched for the equaliser, Crewe then scored once more, and it was fitting it should have revolved around David Vaughan, who was another to impress. His shot was eventually deflected in by Chris Swales. It put Crewe into the 5th round for the first time since 1991. The Chuckle brothers will be straight-faced, the railwaymen and their engines, well chuffed, particularly Thomas.
We've been playing pretty well of late. You know, results haven't been brilliant, but our performances have been decent, and the confidence is high. And when you've got young kids that are prepared to do all the running and show the qualities that they've shown today, we've always got a chance.
I think first 10 minutes everything was looking good, but then we sort of went to pieces. You know, Crewe started passing us off the pitch really, and you know, like I said, you've got to give them credit, they played really well today.
Gareth Taylor's persistence earned him the opener after Sean Smith's initial goal line clearance. And Smith was on the receiving end again when Burnley doubled their lead. He stood off Alan Moore, whose finish was simply superb. And that just about sealed only the Clarets' second win in 10 games. Although Crewe did make them sweat for it when Dave Walton headed Dave Brammer's cross into the path of the lively Rob Hulse. And right at the death, Dario Gradi's team knew it wasn't their day. First F.A. Sodier and then Rodney Jack hit the woodwork. It finished 2-1 Burnley.
This is Dave Brammer. Good atmosphere inside Gresty Road. Right with the ball into the penalty area, which Hulse tried to flick on. Sean Smith, the captain. Paul Gascoigne not involved again. Schindler looking for space. This is Brammer under pressure from Gemmell. David Vaughan. Lunt, that's a good ball. This is Dean Ashton. Hulse and Vaughan are in the centre. Wright finds Kenny Lunt and he's onside here. And Dean Ashton rather got underneath the volley. But good football from the home side. Kenny Lunt at the heart of it. Nicely left by Ashton for Hulse. There's the understanding. Lunt is in space on the right-hand side. Ashton goes for goal, and Simonson just gets there in the second attempt. Good save from Simonson in the end. Lovely interchange between Hulse and Ashton, who had Kenny Lunt to his right-hand side, chose to try and test Simonson, who recovered well, having spilled the initial shot. Right for Crewe. Well done again, Ashton looking for Hulse. Here's an opportunity, Hulse losing his footing inside the penalty area. I don't think there's any real question that was a penalty, but it was Ashton and Hulse combining well again. And Everton being stretched once more by Dean Ashton, who's having a very good game. This is Vaughan. Alexanderson, Everton should clear now, and that's nicely done by Kevin Campbell. Finds Pembridge, who's in space. Gilles to his left-hand side. A chance to run at David Wright here. Radzinski, Campbell and Pembridge roll forward. Gilles! Lovely break by Everton. Hulse and Ashton's onto this and he's away. Dean Ashton for Crewe to open the scoring. And the First Division side are a step nearer the last 8 of the FA Cup. And they deserve it. Dean Ashton has been a real handful for Everton. And a little bit of good fortune as the ball ricocheted into his path. But once it had, he had the pace to leave Stubbs and Weir and co in his wake. And he beats Simonsen with something to spare. Crewe 1, Everton 0. And they are certainly good value for that. This is Brammer. Oh, nicely done. This is Hulse. And he couldn't quite make it to. Alan Stubbs recovered well. But Everton's defence at the moment is being taken apart by Hulse and Ashton. Ashton scored the goal. This was Rob Hulse. And all credit to Alan Stubbs, whose presence, I think, just did enough to defy Rob Hulse. This is Ginola. Pembridge for Everton. Good running by Pembridge, might just open up for him here. Good try as well. Well, they backed off, and Mark Pembridge accepted the invitation to keep running at the heart of this Crewe defence. Walter Smith's face perfectly illustrates the problem that Everton have at the moment. A goal down. Ince comes and punches, and then uses his head. But the ball, I think, had gone outside the penalty area when Clayton Ince came to punch. Yellow card for Clayton Ince. Well, it was a very close call. A little bit unlucky, I think, the goalkeeper. David Ginola for Everton. Sodje away. It's Everton's corner though. Ginola's corner. Well out by Walton. Alexanderson. Ginola. Still plenty of blue shirts forward. Here it's Campbell. Got over the header, Kevin Campbell, but didn't find the direction he was looking for to steer Ginola's cross beyond the goalkeeper. Here's Ashton. Beautifully done. Brim full of confidence tonight, Ashton and Hulse. Smith. Sodje's header. Pembridge is first to the loose ball. And still Mark Pembridge. Good cross, and Radzinski's header puts Everton level in the very last minute of the first half, with almost their first meaningful chance of the game. Thomas Radzinski's return from a groin injury has not come a moment too soon for Walter Smith's side. A goal in the Merseyside derby and a goal at Gresty Road to put Everton all square again in this cup tie. Walton inviting Ince to come out and collect, and he is very close to the edge of that penalty area again, Clayton Ince. Campbell. Campbell finds Alexanderson. Clark is racing forward to Alexanderson's right-hand side. Here he is. And back into Alexanderson, danger here for Crewe, and the header from Pembridge never came because Wright got back with a clearing header from the very top drawer as Mark Pembridge was about to put an effort on Clayton Ince's goal, but better football from Everton. Alexanderson with a corner kick. Campbell missed it at the near post there, appealing Everton. The referee Mark Halsey. They were looking for a handball in here. It was Ashton's upper arm. How close was Clayton Ince to the edge of his penalty area here? Well, he certainly managed to keep his hands inside the white line there. Alexanderson, Pembridge. Radzinski, better from Everton at the start of the second half. Really lifted by that goal from Radzinski. This is Gemmell. Their heads were down at one stage, they looked sorry for themselves. This is Radzinski who's lifted those chins, and Pembridge! And the goalkeeper just gets it, and that was creeping in from Mark Pembridge, and it was really well struck. And Clayton Ince needed a little clutch or two at it. Real fizzer from Pembridge. Sodje is the winner and keeps it away from Gravison as well, and Collins looks to release Rob Hulse. Has support from Vaughan and from Smith. This is Smith, now it's Vaughan. That's well worked. Ashton is in the middle and Stubbs concedes the corner. Not sure the ball ended up just where Alan Stubbs intended it to go. A good play down the left from Crewe. Sodje and Walton and Ashton and Hulse all wait for the corner, and it's in! Oh, it's off the line! Fantastic clearance by Pembridge. Looks for all the world like it had been turned into the back of the net. Stevenson is under pressure again here. Rob Hulse got the final touch. As the corner came in, it was Ashton's header, then Hulse, it beats Stevenson, and Pembridge off the line. That is a terrific clearance by the Everton man. Campbell's Walton, it was, with the challenge on Kevin Campbell. They were very close to conceding again, Walter Smith's side. Unsworth with this free kick. Comes, Ince loses it, and Stubbs, and Sodje off the line. Off the line at one end, and off the line almost immediately at the other, and Clayton Ince got in a tangle here with Kevin Campbell and Alan Stubbs. Hit the spot which was covered by Sodje. This is a really good cup tie now. Stubbs helping it on. Campbell. Appeal for handball against Sodje, not given. Stubbs forward, and then another appeal, this time against Ashton. Alexanderson's cross, and Radzinski and Campbell between them almost turned it in. Radzinski at the near post, who just failed to get a real contact on it. Campbell couldn't either. This is Hulse. Real end-to-end match now. Game beginning to stretch. Sean Smith for Crewe. Side flag against Thomas Radzinski, who had half a glimmer of goal here for Everton. A couple of appeals for handball waved away, and then Alex Anderson's cross. Radzinski at the near post almost got the touch. That's Ashton tussling for it, Stubbs with the header away, Vaughan underneath it. Decent strike by Sorvel. There was a foul here on David Vaughan by Gemmell, whose boot was high, but the referee decided to play advantage as he saw it rebound to Sorvel, and rightly so. Unsworth and Pembridge linking nicely. This is David Unsworth. Campbell. Thomas Radzinski. Unsworth has stayed forward and is acting as a centre forward inside the penalty area here. This is Kevin Campbell. Oh, good finish! Kevin Campbell for Everton. And the Premiership side have their noses in front for the first time in this tie. Good ball in by Radzinski. Mistake by Sodje, but that is a very good finish from Kevin Campbell. FA Cup winner in 1993 with Arsenal, and Kevin Campbell may get a cup quarter-final at Middlesbrough in 2002 thanks to this goal. Gravison looks for Radzinski. Still Radzinski, Campbell, that's nicely done. Alex Anderson, Thomas Radzinski, great challenge by Sodje. Still in trouble here though as Smith loses out to Alex Anderson. Everton get a corner, but if it hadn't been for Sodje's challenge, Crewe may well have found themselves 3-1 behind. Looking towards David Weir. This is Gravison. Well hit by the Dane. Kevin Campbell, whose goal just might put Everton into the last eight. What a good finish it was as well. Turned Walton and really got some power behind the shot. Oh, it's a poor back passage. Radzinski running at Sodje. Thomas Radzinski to finish it. Almost. Not far away. And David Wright will be a very relieved young man for Crewe, because it was his back pass which, courtesy of a little deflection, I think fell straight into the path of Radzinski. 4-3-3 is the message from Dario Gradi. They have to get the ball forward, and they have to get it forward quickly, but Sorvel is put under pressure by Linderoth. Sodje applies the right boot. This is Pembridge. One last attack for the home side. Right. This is Kenny Lunt. Four in the middle, the cross isn't bad. Alex Anderson away. Only Sodje inside his own half of the field, along with his goalkeeper. It's Lunt. Last throw of the dice now. And the shot from Hulse. Just exactly what Simonsen would have hoped for, comfortably into his arms. Gravison to take the throw in for Everton. Deep into stoppage time. Right with the header. Kenny Lunt for Crewe. Well won by Stubbs away from Ashton. A cup scare, but no cup shock. Everton are into the last 8 for the 5th time in the last 8 years. They have come from behind, and all credit to them. After Dean Ashton had given the home side the lead, Thomas Radzinski's headed equaliser just before half-time turned the game back in Everton's favour, and Kevin Campbell, later substituted, proved to be the match winner with his excellent finish. It has been a fine cup run for Crewe Alexandra, but it is the Premiership side, Everton, who march on to the quarter-finals. It's finished at Cresty Road. Crewe Alexandra 1, Everton 2.
First half as they applied pressure on the visitors' rearguard. Rob Hull's going close as early as the 4th minute. The ever-improving Dean Ashton grabbed his 9th goal of the season and his 3rd goal in 3 games just before the break, sneaking in ahead of keeper Andy Marriott to convert Rob Hulse's knockdown. The second half dismissal of Chris Morgan for a 2nd yellow hindered the visitors further as Alex looked to push home the advantage. Hulse denied by Marriott's reflexes 15 minutes from time. But he got his way in stoppage time, latching on to FA Sojay's clearance, only to be brought to an abrupt halt by Lee Crooks. He also saw red. Sean Smith was unable to take advantage from 12 yards, but Kevin Street was from 7. His first goal in league football, sealing a vital win for Dario's battlers.
Points looked likely when Marlon Harewood put them ahead at Gresty Road. But a great Crewe fight back was started by Kenny Lunt's 20-yard free kick. And what followed was described by Dario Gradi as one of the best displays in his 20 years in charge. Dean Ashton heading Crewe ahead. The Forest woodwork then denied the young striker a 2nd goal, but Steve Evans just happened to be on his knees at the right moment to complete a fine 3-1 win. Stoke, though,
coming in the 18th minute, the only goal of the first half, and then the game somewhat interrupted by the injuries, the double injury. John Fashanu carried off on a stretcher with a minutes, and in spite of a stern and stubborn recovery in the second half by Aston Villa, who came mighty close at times, that goal was worth the victory on the day for the champions.
Well, I mean, it's there's still a long way to go. There's 16 games left. It's the first time in a few weeks, though, we've put a little bit of pressure on Blackburn. I mean, they go to Tottenham. They're a good side. Tottenham are a good side. It'll be a classic game and nice to watch. So we'll enjoy sitting watching it tomorrow afternoon.
How much of a relief is it to you that your situation has been sorted out?
It's a great relief. It's been dragging on for near enough 12 months now. So to get it all finalised now, finally, it's a great relief and a weight off my shoulders.
We're a bit disappointed we didn't get something out of it. We thought, to be honest with you, not many times you come to Old Trafford and perhaps have a larger share of the game, but we certainly, I think, had that today. We felt a little bit hard done by about the goal. Gary Charles felt he was wrestled a wee bit in forcing the ball out for a corner, and then they scored from that. I mean, that's, them sort of things happen. And but after that, we picked ourselves up. We had a few chances, and on another day we could have scored a couple.
Did you feel United were a bit fortunate to get the 3 points today, Alan?
Yeah, they were. I thought Aston Villa played really well. Had a couple of decent chances, and I tend to agree with what Andy Townsend's saying there. I thought Cole did push Gary Charles, and they shouldn't have got a corner. But United dug out a result. They didn't really play that well on the day. Some good players. Ennis again was sensational. Pallister, Bruce, Schmeichel, Irwin, back to the familiar faces. They've got all-round quality.
All eyes, of course, on Andy Cole, as we said at the top of the show. How did you feel he performed overall?
Well, he scored the goal, and that's what Ferguson bought him for. Play the ball in front of him, and his contribution inside the box, he really is a bit special. Ryan Giggs in the ball here. Cole beats the offside trap. Now what he does well is he recovers well, because a little slip there, but picks himself up, great ball in, and Sharp should score there. But very, very good. We've highlighted Cole and Small here. Corner comes in. And what Cole does well here is he just gets a yard of space, which all great strikers can do. He leaves Small, and I thought he was a bit unlucky there. It was a hitch kick that
could have gone anywhere, could have ended in the back of the net. This is a goal. From this angle it looks straightforward. Pallister header and a clinical finish from Cole. But when we get it from the other angle behind the goals, you'll see that his movement is exceptional. We're highlighting again with Small. Just a little tug here, if you watch, just brushes him aside, loses the marker. The movement was good, the reaction was good, but the finishing was the best.
And the defender went walkabout there. Just
well, we don't know where he was going, but that's not Cole's problem. He just left him and put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he's good at.
Exactly. What about...
That's an intelligent ball from the 17-year-old. He's brought in Booty now. Into the area and takes the deflection. Fine save by Sheffield, but eventually the youngster Murphy has scored. Danny Murphy. Clarkson squares it to Lennon. He needed cheekily put it through, and that's an own goal of Barrett. Wayne Collins will claim it. Good control when it eventually comes down from the heavens. Barrack. Butler's under that with Smith. The pressure's on. Corazine. The old 1-2.
Stole in to volley the opener. And then a perfectly struck free kick from Danny Murphy made it 2-0 on the hour and had Birmingham heading for only their 4th defeat of the season. Manager Barry Fry branded his team a bunch of idiots. Even a late consolation from Louis Donowa did nothing to curb his temper. Birmingham dropped to 3rd. Crewe are just a point behind.
The victory keeps them nicely in the promotion frame. Rob Savage, who was on Manchester United's books, scored the winner to condemn Brighton to a 2nd home defeat on the trot. The games involving the chasing pack ended goalless, so the top 5 who
step up their challenge. Brian Parkin couldn't hold the shot and Dealey Adebola pounced. The second was real Route 1 stuff. Martin Booty to England under-18 man Danny Murphy, and he took his chance like a veteran. The visitors did get one back, substitute Paul Miller scoring with his first touch, but it couldn't save Rovers from their 5th defeat of the campaign.
A cracker at Brentford, a cruncher for Crewe. Denny Monday's the man with the sweet left foot. Brentford 1-0. The happy Mondays. That was after 8 minutes. 3 minutes into stoppage time, Brentford doubled their money. The Crewe defence caught catnapping. Robert Taylor sneaking in to finish. Grinning like a Cheshire cat, or in Brentford's case, a stray tabby.
Were turned over by a rampant Peterborough. Marcus Evden set the tone for the match early on. Then Crewe thought they'd snuffed out the danger from this free kick, only for David Morrison to send it back with interest. Crewe did get one back early in the second half. Keeper Ian Foyer in all sorts of trouble. Darren Rowbottom turned it in to give his side real hope of a fight back. But Peterborough were having none of it, and 5 minutes later, Gary Breen kept his cool to tuck in the first league goal of his career. United fans will wonder why they don't play like this everywhere.
Their 2-1 defeat at Gresty Road earlier in the season. Martin Chalk struck on 10 minutes to grab his 5th of the campaign. Chalk was then on the end of Chris Bowman's cross for Stockport's 2nd, 10 minutes into the second half. Another simple chance, well taken. Alan Armstrong got his name on the score sheet to put the match beyond their opponents, who were left chasing a consolation goal. Neil Lennon obliged, but it was too little too late for Crewe, who also missed a penalty. Sam Straw with playoff rivals Crewe at Adams Park. Their failure to finish in front of goal is a worrying problem for manager Martin O'Neill. There were 2 Yorkshire derbies.
McManaman. Oh, great run by McManaman. Can he finish it off?
He has! McManaman for Liverpool!
That's been on the cards, and this is a great run, and he doesn't just stop and have a shot, he goes on. I think the goalkeeper, he nutmegs someone here yet. The goalkeeper will think he may have done better, Brian.
Here's Bjornaby. He's coming forward so much as Bjornaby. This time finding Ian Rush. He's got Seagraves right there with him. He's played in for Bjornaby. Oh, against the post.
McManaman turning it in.
Redknapp to McManaman. Oh, good play here by McManaman. He might finish it here. A super second goal.
That's just sheer class, Brian. There's no other word for it. This guy is having the time of his life out there on that Wembley pitch. He's hit the ball over the bar 3 or 4 times. Watch this for a run, and the finish. If he was 30 years old, it was Ian Rush, you'd say, well, he does that all the time. Watch it, just a side foot, pass it into the net. Keeper gets a slight hand on it, but there's nothing he can do.
Here's Bergson. Crossed in by him, Ruddock getting it away. Bergson again, Katalainen again, and a great shot, a wonderful goal by Thompson. That's a sensational goal.
Well, we did say if anyone was going to get a goal for Bolton, I did feel it was going to be this lad. He's a lad I had, actually, so I'll be getting some stick for letting him go, I suppose, but you can't take it away from him. He's been involved in everything positive that they've done. But watch this, his composure, and it just rifles in the corner. I mean, what a goal.
Bruce, a very good performance by Bolton. Didn't work out for you in the end, but gosh, you fought hard in a tremendous second half.
First half was the area in which we may have lost the game, although they scored the second half. We just felt that we had to go out second half and play without any fear factor. And 1 or 2 first half, we're a little bit nervous, obviously, but we always felt we just had got to take the game to Liverpool. And the second one hurt us, obviously, but when you get a goal back, you have a little bit of hope. We're very pleased for our players, and obviously delighted for Roy as well. Good final.
Another Cup winners' medal for Ian Rush, the first trophy for the Roy Evans regime, and a place in Europe. For Bolton, the big test starts now. 9 games remain for Bruce Rioch's side to overcome their disappointment and win promotion.
Paul Moody made the most of some defensive uncertainty to shoot them into an 8th-minute lead. Chris Allen then kept his cool in front of goal to give Oxford some breathing space. United seems certain to record their 8th away league win. Darren Rowbottom had other ideas as he cut their leads with a crisp finish to give Crewe some hope. It was then that the Oxford boss saw red. Dennis Smith had already squared up to the match official and he was banished from the touchline. He faces a Football Association inquiry. Oxford lost their way. Sean Smith's glancing header made it 2-2. Dele Adebola, an exciting young talent at Gresty Roads, completed the comeback with a magical goal. The victory moves Crewe to within 3 points of the playoff spots.
Display had joint manager John Sitton describing them as worse than park players. Even so, there wasn't much they could do to stop Gareth Wally's stunning shot. The one ray of hope for Sitton and new chairman Barry Hearn, who was in the stands, was an equaliser from Kevin Austin. What they didn't know was that it would end up being a consolation. Because just before half-time, the Orient offside trap was well and truly sprung. They thought they'd got away with it, but the ball ran kindly for Darren Rowbottom. Crewe look to have an even money chance of reaching the playoffs, and when they're on song like this, they're a joy to watch. Francis Tierney helping himself to number 3. Orient weren't helping themselves by giving the ball away. Neil Lennon eventually punished them to make it 4-1. If Orient don't beat Bristol Rovers tonight, then Herne will really have a chance to build from the bottom in Division 3.
13 years in charge after Wayne Collins had broken the deadlock. Fran Tierney put the match beyond Bournemouth. Win pushed them into the top 5 and they've games in hand. Fran Tierney's close-range effort, his second in successive matches, ended Chester's resistance. West at Gay Meadow, manager Dario Gradi has masterminded their upturn in form. They could still achieve promotion for the second successive season. They fell behind to a Mark Smith goal after 3 minutes. Wayne Collins hit back within a quarter of an hour. His shot deflected off a defender, with the keeper rooted to the spot. After a period of prolonged pressure, Billy Barr netted their second of the match to maintain the wonderful run of results.
For Birmingham, and Crewe could be champions. At St Andrews, 25,000 Birmingham fans were tense and clamouring for the title. Birmingham and Crewe are worlds apart, but in sight of similar targets. There was no sense of tension anywhere at Gresty Road. Indeed, Crewe boss Dario Gradi was coaching youngsters up to kick-off time. He's a very different approach to Barry Fry at Birmingham.
We don't have probably quite the same pressures as Barry has. He's under extreme pressure to be successful with the first team, and has been given the money to do it. And if I was in that situation, I'd probably do the same.
I said after we'd played Birmingham 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I'm sure Dario would say the same. He's a lot happier, I would imagine, with the club that he's at, rather than, say, a group of players like Birmingham, because although Barry Fry's had a lot of money to spend, the pressure is probably that bit greater on him.
You enjoy doing the other side of it than Barry's side of it, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. And I don't know, I've never done the other side.
Crewe's School of Excellence were on display just prior to the kick-off. Just before the current graduates had their opportunity to set about the 3 points they needed to keep automatic promotion alive. They got the perfect start, Neil Lennon's cross and skipper Steve McCauley rising majestically to head into the corner of the net. Ironically, they hadn't even kicked off yet at Birmingham City, but Crewe was certainly setting about doing their side of the bargain. But just as things seemed to be going well, they then started to go badly. A handball claim against Richard Peacock was waved away, and in all the confusion, Greg Abbott nipped in between Mark Gale and the defenders to put them back at 1-1. But 1-1 soon became 2-1 to the visitors. Gary Lund's header just creeping over the line, a referee in a good position to call it. But just before half-time, Crewe were back level once again. Addy Bowler's flick and Phil Clarkson's finish, 2-2 at half-time. The Crewe fans' attentions then switched from Gresty Road back to St Andrews. They turn on the radios and hear of a thrilling, nail-biting match, with the home side and League were still in with a chance. They still had to beat Hull City, and Daly Addy Bowler's goal saw to that. So, already assured of a place in the playoffs, the dream of automatic promotion was still on.
We could still win the league, depending on what the Birmingham result went like. You know what I mean? It's a bit optimistic, but you've got to hope. We're going to work hard all the way to the last kick of the season.
Birmingham, though, still had to lose. In truth, they never looked in danger of that, and despite Crewe's efforts, it's the playoffs now for them. Financially speaking, to go up via a Wembley final is probably the best way for a chairman, isn't it?
Well, yes, I'm sure the bank manager would be happy with that, and if we can have another day at Wembley, but this time we can win and go up, well, that would really be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just? Crewe absolutely certain of a place in the playoffs then. And just for the record...
Hang on, Mark Lawrenson and HTV's Phil Duffel are the commentators.
McCauley, perhaps one of the targets at the far post, is aimed towards the skipper. Good header clear by Taylor, drops to the edge of the box, and that's a fabulous save by Brian Parkin. Wally struck it superbly, and the keeper did excellently for Rovers there. Sterling now, he's gone past his man. He's got Stewart and Archer to aim for. It might come for Lee Archer. The keeper was in 2 minds there. Archer with the cross towards Gareth Taylor. Oh, and it's flashed across the face of goal. And perhaps the best chance so far there for Bristol Rovers. Skinner will take it. The big men are up from the back again. Crowd raise their voices in anticipation. Flicked on by Stewart and off the line. Still in there perhaps for Worrell Sterling.
Skinner's corner. Marcus Stewart's flick on, but cleared off the line by Crewe.
Clark and Murphy underneath this. Good control by the Crewe striker, but Clark's won it back. Pritchard a bit short there, and Tierney's in behind Rovers here. Ball back into the danger area, and Clark got an important challenge on Murphy there, and the ball just bobbled past Parkin's post.
It was Tierney with a cross on the left wing. Murphy has the initial shot, but Billy Clark does really well, gets his body in front of the ball, just deflects it wide.
What we don't know, a lot better. I would think they'll enjoy it more. And in fact, if John Ward had visited the two pitches, he might have said, listen, let's forget about the leg at our place, let's just have it on yours, because we both enjoy it more.
They started all square against Bristol Rovers at Gresty Road tonight. The commentators, Mark Lawrenson and Phil Duffel.
Billy Barr tries to get it back to Murphy, might yet break for him. He's got the right side of Pritchard, Parkin's in there, and the ball has splashed across the face of goal. Murphy with a shot, and Adebola on the far side who couldn't quite get a touch. Miller looks for Stewart, intelligent running from the Rovers striker. He's got Taylor and Channing making ground in the middle. Channing perhaps the target. Stewart might go alone, left-footed. Oh, it's just gone wide of the post.
Super play by Stewart, tormented Wilson. He's taken him on the outside, it's a great turn. Wilson goes away for a cup of tea, and now he's got to do is hit the target. Unfortunately for Rovers, he's missed.
Through now with Booty. Towards Murphy, might break here for Tierney. Pritchard coming across to close him down. Murphy with the shot, good save Parkin. Pritchard picks himself up as the corner comes in. Towards the near post, hit the crossbar from Barr. Amazing let-off for Rovers.
Poor defending by Rovers, Billy Barr just pulled off, helped it on its way, fortunate for Rovers to hit the crossbar.
There's another tentative clearance from Clark, and Wally can seize on this. Into the penalty area, might break for Collins. Great block from Rovers, their bodies are flying in there. And another superb piece of defending by Pritchard, I think, in the end. Murphy up against Clark, he's done well here, brought down on the edge of the box. Parkin comes out bravely, Collins might get this, over the top. It's a great ball from Stewart towards Sterling, maybe forced a bit wide. It's a second chance, Worrell Sterling towards Stewart, great chance for Rovers, and he's put it wide. Collins for Crewe, more work for Rovers to do yet. Billy Clark might break for Collins here, oh brilliant save Parkin.
The ball bounces up for Collins. In it comes, great save by Parkin.
Rovers not out of the woods yet though, got some defending to do here. Corner flashes across, face of goal, and it's in there, and it's the substitute, Darren Rowbotham, who's finally broken the deadlock. 7 minutes into extra time, and Rovers suddenly have it all to do. Ball deep towards the penalty area, might break for Paul Miller, great chance for Rovers, he's got it in the second attempt, and Paul Miller has scored an amazing goal for Bristol Rovers. It's 1-1, and at the moment Rovers are on their way to Wembley.
You know, the players are very disappointed, but that's they've got to get over disappointment. You know, football is full of disappointments, and they have to be able to cope and get over it and grow from it. But it will have been a good experience for them, and I think it will. I'm absolutely delighted that the crowd have enjoyed it, and our supporters have been super. They've been super in defeat, and that's how they should be. There's no reason to be anything other than super in defeat, because we lost to a decent side.
Always got it.
Turn by Angloma, that. Rob Jones. Webb, good skill. There might be an offside unless they're careful. No, they stayed in well. The header by Stuart Pearce gives Jeff Thomas lots of space. Hurst and Shearer waiting in the centre. There's Hurst. Here's Shearer. It's going to come on to Rob Jones to hit it.
That would have been some start for Rob Jones if it had flown in on target, but it was good build-up. They just broke the French offside. They chased out, and Stuart Pearce's header, a bit unlucky that it pushed, in fact, Jeff Thomas wide. But a good cross then was touched on, as you see there. And Rob Jones coming in, hits one just beyond the near post.
Sacrifice a little bit of finesse to be in tonight's third round draw. Reporting from Gresty Road, Rob McCaffrey.
Billy Bonds and West Ham knew it wasn't going to be easy tonight. 0-0 from the first leg, and Dario Gradi employing his latest secret weapon, the trumpet of the terraces, Richard Sutton, who stands in the crowd belting out the songs to get the home fans jigging and singing. When he plays, they don't often lose.
Has it brought the team luck? Well, they're winning. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, they haven't lost when I've played.
West Ham were unbeaten in 10 games up until tonight, and in fairness, they created enough chances to at least have troubled the scorers. Julian Dix was the man of the match. His volley brilliantly tipped over by Dean Greygoose. The trumpet from the terraces was driving them forward, playing with a sweeper, the fullbacks all the time in the world to get forward. Dave McKinney's one of them, and he almost squeezed a shot past McCloskey on half-time. It was 0-0 at that point, and then West Ham looked like they were going to take over. All the pressure, the save from Greygoose, and Dix, typically forceful with their best chance, flicked over off, of all people, Clive Allen. But then Steve Walters took a grip on the edge of the West Ham penalty area. His industry, clever little through ball, and Tony Naylor squeezed the ball under Ludo McCloskey. Gresty Road sensed a night to remember, and the trumpet sounded. Craig Hicknett and Tony Naylor began and finished the move that made it 2. It really summed up everything that's good about Crewe. Naylor full of unselfish running all night, and Hicknett arriving up alongside him right on cue to lash in the goal that took them into the next round. Hicknett again almost had time to make it 3. He would have deserved it. But Crewe were worthy winners on the night, a night of emotion, passion and music too.
Magnificent result. The lads played really well tonight and deserved it.
Tony? Yeah. Couldn't have played any better.
What about the trumpet? What do you think?
Fantastic.
Oh, he gives everyone a lift when he's on the pitch. We hear him, he's brilliant.
Right, only one song for West Ham on a night like this. Take it away, Richard.
The last post, Crewe with the habit of coming in on the far post. Actually, you've already seen Crewe's next opponents on the programme tonight. I'm not going to give you too much away. All will be revealed very soon. We'll play Ipswich Town, Southampton, Crystal Palace, and Manchester City will play Tottenham Hotspur. Yet another excellent tie involving one of our Northwest and his principals. Crewe tonight, Alistair Mann.
Well, Crewe play a fluid sweeper system with Gus Wilson in the Ronald Koeman role. Steve McCauley will do a man-to-man job on Nigel Clough. It's attack-minded and indeed has produced 23 goals in 8 straight home wins this season. Tony Naylor top with 9, joint top I should say, with Craig Hicknett. Hicknett, yet another locally produced talent attracting attention. Dario Gradi, his manager, says that no bids have come in though for any of his players. Forest once again used Roy Keane at centre-half, his talent solving a tricky problem, but it removes him from midfield. Lee Glover is once again preferred to Gary Bannister up front. The referee is John Lloyd from Wrexham, a busy man for sure. He was in charge of Scunthorpe's 2-2 draw with Leeds last night, the Scunthorpe game that finished the second round. Well, Crewe are called the Nottingham Forest of the lower divisions. This is the chance to see how their football compares with the real thing. Tyler jumping. Here's Gary Chott. Tight control from Lee Glover. Here's Gary Charles on the overlap. Gus Wilson read it. Forest throw, despite the crowd's demands for a Crewe throw. Glover. Ericsson losing out. Here's Naylor. Nice ball, finds Walters. Edwards trying to turn. An early challenge from Nigel Clough. Wilson. Nice little header that. Was under some pressure. Naylor rather lobbing it in the air. Hignett losing out. Kingsley Black. Stuart Pearce. Greeted. Shall I say greeted? I would think probably not the right word with boos. Gemmell. Glover. Gemmell had continued his run and Glover saw him out the corner of his eye. Surprise of hold it. Lennon did that. Smith bringing in Darren Clark. Tyler, not the best of headers. Here's Hignett. Ushered forward. Man to his left is Sean Smith. Short ball and Charles was in very quickly. Here's Walters. Super ball, spraying it out. Bringing in Lennon. McKerney. Walters showed for him, but he's preferred Hignett. And what's he done? Crosley let it slip through his grasp there. The linesman isn't signalling a goal. And one can only assume it didn't cross the line. Well, we nearly had a dream start for Crewe Alexandra. Not over yet. Here's Walters. Keane away. Hignett with a shot and Crosley with a brilliant save. Well, this could have been the perfect start for Crewe. McKerney with the ball forward. Hignett, the glance of the head. And Crosley letting it slip through his hands, and the linesman said it hadn't crossed the line. Short corners are the policy for Crewe, and indeed for Forest. Look out for those. No one really able to get a decisive touch. Good turn on the edge by McCauley. Edwards bringing in Darren Carr. Edwards again. Charles is with him. Well, Crewe nearly had the perfect start, didn't they? Questioned the goalkeeping, but the shot from Hignett was certainly fair enough. Wilson. Ball given away by McCauley. But Crewe get it back again. Here's Edwards. Good tackle from Tyler. Edwards in strongly again, though. And the ball bouncing off the referee, and a super ball into Hignett. And Crosley has made some wonderful saves already. Craig Hignett denied again. A lovely little ball guided by Walters. Controlled first time, and Crosley made himself big. Walters. Hignett. Boom challenge from Gemmell. And Forest pick up the pieces, and then Charles under pressure from Rob Edwards loses out. Skill from Morlington, and saw the angle for the shot, and Dean Greygoose was there. Well, nothing on there really. Little bit of skill from Morlington, just created a little bit of an opening, and Gus Wilson jockeying him there, not sure which way to go. And Morlington went for the corner, and Greygoose saw it. Another quick corner. Here's Gary Charles looking for the right ball. Here's Pearce on the edge. Know he can shoot. So do the Crewe fans, and there's Orlickson on the volley, but that's always going wide. Just hear the famous Crewe trumpeter in the background, getting the famous Crewe chant of Blue Moon going. Crosby. Roy Keane. Nice turn from Glover. Guess what? Charles is on the overlap again, and he knows what to do when he gets there. Wilson reading it. Clough teeing up McGemmell, and once again Dean Greygoose was there. Super shot along the ground on a greasy surface from Gemmell. And in the space of a few minutes, Dean Greygoose has already earned his match fee, and that's a good save. Naylor. Lovely ball, McKerney. Hignett. Oh, it's scored! It's me, just over the top. Most of the main stand went up thinking it had gone in, but it hadn't. flick from Hignett that looped over the top of Crosley, who was beaten, there's no doubt about that. Little flick of a header, it was looping all the way, it just went over. Strong challenge from Walters. And, left Gemmell hurting for a minute, but he's got it. Dwelt a little too long on it, and Orlickson trying to get it away, and the referee said that the ball was played, not the man, and it's no free kick. Orlickson a little bit disappointed. Smith just getting the better of Charles, but not Crosby. Here's Walters. Lovely ball, brings in Hignett. McKerney. Look for Hignett again, that's not going in, it's going wide, and he holds his head. Lovely move from Crewe, that. Hignett picking out McKerney, who picked out the run of Hignett again, and he got inside the two full-backs, and that's why he was so disappointed. Walters, Smith, the best of balls forward, Keane away, Glover waited for it, Cars didn't wait for it and attacked it. Hignett tried to find McKerney, and Black intercepted. McKerney's tried to go with him. Black still has it, has support. Clough is near. Pearce is a little bit further away, and that's where the ball's gone. Gemmell. Still Gemmell. Made the angle. Super shot, super save. And Grey Goose isn't happy that there were a lot of men just backing away. Not the first time that Dean Grey Goose has been forced to tip away a shot, but on each occasion he's been equal to them. That was a good one, pushing the ball into the Forest fans behind. Quick corner. Fortunately, Crewe were alert to it, but once again they have no option as an escape route because all men have been pulled back, and that means that you'll be forced to defend again. Here's Roy Keane. He's forced away by Hignett. Here's Pearce. Look for Glover. And Pearce has continued the charge. McCauley went with him and made a super challenge. Another Forest corner. This time it's in their first corner cleared by Smith. It'll be a throw to Forest. Stuart Pearce will take. Here's Gemmell. Roy Keane. Charles slightly to his right, but Keane wants to go himself, and in the end does bring in Charles. Kingsley Black hugging the far touchline. Charles prefers to go with Clough. Clough losing out though. But Forest retain possession. Gemmell bringing in Pearce. Crosby's gone to the left. So too though has Smith. Lovely turn from Glover, I beg your pardon, and Carr was in strongly. There is Clough, and Clough sneaked his shot through, and Grey Goose through what must have been 2, maybe 3 pairs of legs. Managed to keep his eye on the ball. Again, he was angry with his defenders for just backing off a touch and not putting in a challenge. And if you think about this from the eye view of the goalkeeper, there's 2 or 3 pairs of legs that this has to go through from Nigel Clough, and he did well to see it. Looking for the right ball and finding Glover, chested it down neatly. Carr was in strongly. Orlickson. Walters again in strongly, a little too strongly actually, and that'll be a free kick. Taken ever so quickly. And Pearce has immediately brought the game forward and wins a corner. Every free kick virtually has been taken quickly. Every corner has virtually been taken quickly. Crosby with the corner. Curling flick, and it went off the inside of the post, and the referee and linesman between the two of them have signalled a goal, I think. The linesman's flagging furiously. What's he flagging for though? Was it a push? Was it a goal? Well, in fact it's a free kick that's the signal. And And as this curling ball from Glover went goal-bound, it must have been the shove there from Clough as he put it in the net. I think the linesman, in truth, was flagging for the ball over the line. Chettle, Gemmell ahead of him. That's where the ball's gone. But Glover losing out. Oh, it's gone off the inside of the post from Glover's head. Still not over though. Shuttle on the ground from Orlickson and collected by Grey Goose. Well, he had a looping header from the left side that hit the outside of the post earlier, and he's done it again this time. Gemmell's cross and Glover's neat little header, always beating Grey Goose. Remember, it is a one-off knockout and it's still goalless. Anybody's game. Ball forward to Naylor. Can Naylor make something of it? No, he can't. We saw Smith's run forward, but so did Roy Keane. Nottingham Forest come away again. Crosby into Glover. He's hit the post twice, remember. Here's Orlickson all the way. Super save again by Dean Grey Goose. He's been outstanding, hasn't he? When he has been beaten, it's been by a terrific effort by Lee Glover. And Crewe are still in the game as a result of the heroics of their keeper. Super little piece of skill that, riding the challenge like a hurdler, and he kept his balance, and so did Grey Goose. Clough. Roy Keane might think about the shot, and it's a good one, and again, you know who provides the save. Well, countless times tonight, Grey Goose has been equal to everything, and this time it's to deny Roy Keane. Lovely shot along the ground, and there was Grey Goose again. Here's Roy Keane, knocking it in, and there, after all that, all the resistance, the ball in the net, and Scott Gemmell who flicked it to Tor Orlickson, and Orlickson has provided the goal. The ball was poked back to him by Scott Gemmell. He thumped it, fierce as you like, beyond the reach of Dean Grey Goose. Football to the end, and their football wasn't quite good enough tonight against the master footballers Nottingham Forest. Tor Orlickson with a thumping shot into the roof of the net, the man who separates the two sides, and it was always going to take something special to get past this man, Dean Grey Goose. I cannot remember the number of times that he denied Nottingham Forest tonight, but the score is the important thing. Nottingham Forest will progress to round 4, knowing they've had a tough challenge on their hands tonight. 1-0.
That's a goal Stuart Pearce would have been proud of. Lovely game to watch. Well, still to come on soccer.
And Stanley in red shirts were sturdy opponents for 35 minutes. Then Darren Carr exposed loose defending to put Crewe ahead. 5 minutes later, Accrington were caught in possession, and Tony Naylor made them pay the full price. Fallibility at the back let them down again in the second half. Jimmy Harvey's through ball, teenager Gareth Wally too sharp for turning defenders, the finish under pressure excellent. By now Crewe were playing the football that always earns them respect. Jimmy Harvey again, ever a cultured player, helped by the neatest of touches, Wally scoring his second. A gate of nearly 11,000, the best in the cup today, rewarded Accrington's decision to play at Ewood Park, and their other compensation was a deflected goal by Charlie Cooper. Overall, though, Crewe were too quick and too clever, though Accrington's goalkeeper wasn't helped by an injured teammate in his path when Tony Naylor scored the 5th. Right on time, Phil Clarkson completed the scoring to establish Crewe as one to avoid in the next round. They've won both their ties by the same 6-1 score.
The adventures of the non-league clubs came to an end at Crewe, who scored 3 times in the opening quarter to cast Marine adrift. A flapping arm at Rob Edwards' cross, a hearty penalty shout from the home support, answered after just 2 minutes. The call to dispatch the penalty, answered by Dave McKerney. There's always a tear shed for a departing giant killer, but Crewe's stylish approach has won them friends throughout football, and they'll be worthy opponents for Blackburn Rovers in the 4th round. Gareth Worley's dribbler didn't quite make it, but Edwards was on hand to make it 2 under the watchful eye of both Kenny Dalglish and Ray Harford. Dario Gradi booked his appointment with them when Phil Clarkson burst clear to put Crewe 3 up. There was no way back from there for the Merseysiders. Marines manager Rowley Howard is, of course, Dalglish's window cleaner. Some fun the newspaper photographers would have had with that little story. But although Keith Johnson's goal wiped one off, Marine had left themselves with a ladder to climb.
Place in the Premier League. Crewe have that reputation for producing some outstanding players in recent years, a list headed by England's David Platt, but their current team cost only £60,000. Blackburn, as you know, have spent a little more. A rare trip to Gresty Road for our cameras and commentator Barry Davis.
In the absence of the injured Alan Shearer, Mike Dewell returns to the club for whom he played on trial as the opposition's top scorer. And he finds the boss, Dario Gradi, who would like to have signed him 10 years ago, now relying on inexperience to stop him. 3 of Crewe's back 4 were playing in the HFS Loans League a year ago, and the 4th, 19-year-old Anthony Hughes, was a youth player. So indeed was another 19-year-old, Gareth Wally, who is playing in midfield. In all, Gradi is without 7 of his first-team squad. As for Newell, he has the same company around him as last week, when Blackburn's victory at Oldham was only their 3rd away from home this season. Referee is Alan Wilkie from Chester-le-Street. And Crewe go into the match in the slightly curious position of being the top scorers in the competition and also the outsiders. The lowest placed team still going. They're attacking the goal to our right. Gardner in possession. Just had a fair amount of rain, but it's quite a good surface if a touch soft. Bobby Mims. Kenny Swade and Dario Gradi. Gradi to the right. Right. Taken by Macaulay, but he couldn't control it to turn on it. Referee stopping to have a passing conversation with Kevin Moran. Good head up, but he couldn't get enough turn on it. Mike Newell. Nice flick on by Clarkson. Well fed back again too. Playing some nice stuff. This is Wally. Clarkson! And didn't get another touch from Edwards, which might have found a goalkeeper going the wrong way. With a bright opening from a Crewe team who've always endeavoured to play good football. A record against senior sides showing that perhaps they played rather too much good football against them. Sherwood to Wegley. To Hendry. Big men are all forward. Wegley! Good goal! Lovely turn. And a fine strike. Eight minutes and Blackburn have the lead. They were queuing up for a high cross. Instead, it was a low one. And Wegley turned on it, struck it very cleanly for his 7th goal of the season. Well watched. Well watched, but Harvey has to be alive and was. Moran. Clarkson. Just too much. Moran was back to head it away. Still pressure from Crewe. And Gardner tries to curl. Never looked like coming back enough. But even so, some good stuff from the third division side. Not affected in any way by going a goal down. Kept trying to play football, but that never looked like coming back enough for Gardner. And then came onto the left side. Edwards, beautifully done, nice little drag round, good play, Wally. Clarkson, plenty up on the attack. Now they need a bit of width. Annan supplies it, so does Harvey. Blackburn all back bar one, and the attack lost its momentum. Harvey again, well taken by Clarkson. Edwards, Gardner had it taken off his toe, and away by David May. Good applause ringing round Gresty Road. Smith now for Crewe. Wally. Clarkson, unlucky, he just didn't sit for him. Previous opportunity. Edwards, it ran away, and Gardner had it taken right off his toe by May. Ripley. Jason Wilcox. Good tackle by Annan. The pass through and the opportunity for Wilcox. Look at that for a clean challenge. Newell. Sherwood. Wegley. Good turn, but Gardner was alive to that. But now Wilcox gets away from Wilson. Oh, just the wrong side. And goal kick, says the referee, was very well placed. So a double disappointment for Sherwood. Close to scoring and not even getting the corner. It was the first challenge. Well, the referee was right. Goal kick. Got a man over Wilcox! Should have killed the tie. Quite unmarked. And not to get it on target will annoy both the player and his manager. Newell, running by Ripley, stayed onside. And the goalkeeper keeps his team in contention. Got really caught out then, and he saved them. Huntsman was right, in my opinion, to keep the flag down. Crewe now playing with 4 up. They flatten the back 4. Free kick. Peter Duffield's first intervention. Harvey to take. They've got the big fellow up now, Evans, and he might reach it! Oh, amazingly it didn't go in. Macaulay trying to bundle it, as Evans seemed to have got it for the taking there in the air. And somehow Blackburn survived, and indeed there is a free kick given against Crewe because of the climb clearly by Macaulay. Wegley makes the run, Wilcox in possession. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, he had 3 players better placed than he was, and I think they may feel that the word for that is criminal. good claim. Another confident piece of goalkeeping by Bobby Mims, who's having the best season of his life. That's good running. And it's still on, and must be for Newell. Finally, Blackburn find the finish and take themselves into round 5. It's been a long time in coming in a second half in which they have been on top for so long. Wilcox and Mike Newell waits and takes the opportunity to score against the team with whom he started his career. Stood the challenge well then, Wilcox, and this time he found the right pass and the move found the right finish. I think he can feel he's in the next round. Just a touch short, but Grey Goose will make it. Shot from distance! Good try by Tim Sherwood. Mike Newell, good turn. They got a deflection, it's a corner. And Wilcox now says to Newell, why didn't you give me the ball? Greater anxiety in the shouts from the bench, from one side at least. May, oh dear, Evans, that's going to be awkward. And it's gone in the end. Kevin Moore on the scorer. What a gift. The man brought on to save the game gives away a goal. And Kenny Dalglish smiles. Don't often see that during the course of a match. But it really was the most extraordinary goal. Up in the air, always looked to be difficult, and the goalkeeper palmed it straight to Moran, who scored. Blackburn go on. Two managers shake hands. Dario Gradi's Crewe go out. Easy in the second half. Certainly wasn't in the first. But 3 goals from Blackburn, from Wegley, from Newell, and a curious one from Kevin Moore. And Blackburn can now wait for the draw for the next round. Good applause for the teams as they come off. It was a good contest in the first period, but disappointing in the second for the home supporters, because Blackburn were in very nearly total control. Still battling away on 3 fronts, clearly enjoying life.
Yeah, as I said.
Between Wrexham and Crewe.
They used to turn up in luxury coaches in the good old days. Last night, Crewe boss Dario Gradi parked his own team minibus outside Wrexham's racecourse. In the cost-cutting arena of lower division football, no one has a record like Gradi for developing homegrown talent. His reward is the longest contract in football. But this man's a Gradi rival. Brian Flynn has brought 14 youngsters through Wrexham's youth training scheme, some of the brightest talent around. Flynn's been able to hold on to them this summer, but his record's so impressive, it might be difficult for Wrexham to eventually hold on to him.
It's the only way ahead. We have to produce our own players. I mean,
Who centre forward Ashley Ward, who was once on Wrexham's books. You had to be quick to catch Barry Hunter's first Everton goal that almost put Wrexham ahead and almost caught Crewe cold. Cleared off the line. All arms and legs, this man, but strong and powerful in the air. But both Crewe and Wrexham are sides full of promising youngsters, a number of free spirits prepared to take players on. This is Carl Connolly, who did enough, just enough, to stick out a toe and dink an opening goal over Mark Smith, and that gave Wrexham a 2-0 aggregate lead. Connolly actually had Gary Bennett free to his left, but chose the direct route home. It was 3-0 on aggregate when Wrexham earned a penalty, Wayne Phillips committing the Crewe defence. This was beginning to look like a stroll. Gary Bennett was the top scorer last season and has begun this season in the same rich vein of form. Goals and more goals, almost the last touch of the first half. Stuart Evans to Andy Lyons,
and Crewe had got themselves a platform for a second half comeback. Brian Flynn was disappointed the way the Wrexham defended, and this is one reason why. But the neutrals can't complain at the racecourse about entertainment. 6 goals on the opening day of the season. Wrexham got 3 more last night. Connolly again. Gus Wilson with a helping hand. Poor Gus will spare the agony of showing him an action replay of that one. You think that was going to be enough. But Wrexham are really like the Oldham of Division 2, hammering teams 3-all. And Crewe gave them a terrible fright. This is a cracking goal from Darren Rowbottom, sneaking in on the blind side. Wrexham just failed to pick him up, and that was 4-2 on aggregate. Suddenly Crewe were beginning to find the rhythm that had eluded them in the first half, and Ashley Ward was getting more and more involved. Ward maybe should have done better with this, firing across the face of the goal. Just another touch would have done. Wrexham were beginning to panic. Though Steve Watkin, yet another from the youth policy, was willing all night. He really is developing into a mature striker indeed. But time enough for Crewe and Ashley Ward to get the goal of the night. A solo effort that left Wrexham just standing and watching. He ran straight past Barry Hunter, and Mark Morris never stood a chance. It really is great fun at Wrexham these days. 6 more goals to enjoy. This undoubtedly the pick of them. 3-3 on the night. That was 4-3 on aggregate, but does absolutely nothing for a manager's pulse rate.
We can't go on like that this year. I mean,
Crewe took over the leadership of Division 3 and made it 4 wins in a row after another fine away performance at Colchester. Darren Rowbottom's header set things in motion after 17 minutes, but just before the break, sloppy defending allowed Tony English to equalise, with Crewe's defence looking on. It was Rowbottom again who restored the lead. His lovely back heel started the move before running for the return pass and slotting neatly into the far corner. Colchester may concede a lot of goals, but they also score their fair share. This one by Steve Brown, maybe not quite what he intended, but that was 2-2. But Crewe got what they deserved with 2 super late goals to win it. Mark Gardner with the inch-perfect chip to put Alex back in front, and then Gareth Wally stretching out, rounding the keeper, cool as you like. All 3 points for Crewe. It was...
Rob McCaffrey.
The top 2 with 2 very different styles. Preston's John Beck, up and at 'em. Dario Gradi, push and shove it. 2 contrasting managerial philosophies.
People keep recommending players to me and they say, he's just made for you. I say, oh, you mean he's smaller and he's a pretty ball player? They say, yes. That's not what I want. I want people who can run. I want athletes. I want tough guys. I want competitors. But I want some style. And I like to see him play with style. And I think fans do as well.
Style was suddenly what we saw at Gresty Road. Simply a great advert for football in Division 3. A couple of nightmare moments, of which this was one. Kellum O'Hanlon losing the ball, and Tony Naylor as quick as ever pouncing to tuck in the opening goal from the tightest of angles. Preston's equaliser perhaps more conventional. It was Tony Ellis twisting and turning in the box, but his shot actually flicked off the centre-half David Moyes, though no doubt Ellis will claim it. That was 1-1. Crewe went ahead from this stylish free kick from Mark Gardner, back up the post. Darren Rowbottom the first to react, points for persistence. Gardner does this kind of thing almost at will. O'Hanlon beaten all ends up, and Rowbottom was in there first. Crewe in front once again. Crewe made it 3-1 in the second half after a typical move, all about possession, all about passing, all about moving. Rowbottom's snapshot this time, O'Hanlon could only get a hand to it. But you have to credit Preston. They refused to lie down. They came back into the game with a goal from substitute Mike Conroy. That was Paul Rayner's shot. He certainly caught the cameraman out. Conroy was on the back post, on for Tony Ellis, made his mark straight away, 3-2. Crewe made it 4-2 with a Preston-style goal. The long ball, but a clever little touch here from Rowbottom once again. This is 16-year-old Darren Murphy on a substitute, and that was his first touch. Yet another Crewe kid. They churn them out, don't they? And it's great to see. 4-2, 2 minutes left. No surprise that Preston, even at that stage, got a goal to provide a rousing finale right on time. Conroy on the right with the touch. That was Rayner's left foot shot. But Crewe held on, and Crewe stretching ahead at the top.
That's their way of playing. They're second in the league, so you can't fault them. But as I say, we're football here, and we're top of the league.
Do you think it was a triumph for Styles tonight?
They've actually got to make up their minds whether they really want it badly enough to almost die for it.
the Granada match from throughout the Northwest, the Ensley League and the Premiership. All the goals, all the latest and all the emotion.
So we want to go straight up.
A year ago, Wycombe had already started promotion celebrations from the conference. A win yesterday would have guaranteed elevation without aggravation.
I suppose if you could condense the season at the beginning of the year, if you had been able to condense the season into 2 matches, and knowing that we needed 4 points from a visit to Crewe and home to Preston for the last 2 games, I suppose maybe I would have settled for that. But extremely difficult game for us. Crewe have led the league here for quite some time. A very, very good footballing side. Lost their way a little bit. I think perhaps maybe we all have at some stage or another. But there's one spot to go for, and we're going to try and get it.
So, to keep the pot boiling, Crewe must win this one and break out of their bleak spell when they've taken only 8 points from a possible 33. It's a team mainly in its early 20s, with the exception of centre-back Stuart Evans and Gus Wilson, 33 and 31 respectively. Mind you, they're up against another golden oldie, 34-year-old Simon Garner, possibly the most recognisable face to North West viewers. Garner hit almost 200 goals in a 14-year Blackburn career. He was part of Blackburn's promotion squad with West Brom when they were on the rise last year, and hopes for another promotion medal by the end of this game. But Wycombe's recent form has been identical to Alex's, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. Referee today, George Kane of Bootle. So, Crewe kick off, trying to get out of this bad spell, and they won't play in finer circumstances, finer conditions, or in front of a more enthusiastic crowd. Rowbatten. Clearance from Ryan and chase for Tony Hemmings. Pacey attacker who's scored 9 goals this season. Good flick for Naylor. Very nervy start from the players out there. Carroll comes back, can't get a challenge in. Richard Annan puts it in there. Crewe playing with 3 attackers. A chance in the first minute of the game, and a goal to Ashley Ward. What a start for Crewe, just a minute gone, and their fine football brings a fine goal. Well, what a confidence booster. But Dario Gradi's little gamble to play 3 attacking players works off, all of them involved in that, and what a fine finish from the former Manchester City player Ashley Ward, his 11th goal of the season. Steve McCauley though, but outside of the foot pass from Rowbottom for Ward. Has the fullback Booty in support. Finds Booty. Now can he deliver a cross? Well, not only a cross, but quite a powerful shot. Martin Booty, who came here on a free transfer from Coventry. Another one of the young stars that Dario could have picked up for nothing, and obviously an attacking fullback on that evidence. Ward brings it down. Stuart Evans, the captain, playing in front of the back 4. Dario Gradi's gone for a back 5 really, with Evans playing well, not exactly a sweeping role, playing just in front of them and mopping anything up before it gets to the Wycombe attackers. Rowbottom to Annan. Now Evans. Again, precise football. Held in by Rowbottom. Not a particularly good pass, though. Smith's a bit more direct. Naylor's in there. Goalkeeper has to be brave. But Naylor got there first and watches agonisingly as the ball spins away from the goal. He's threatened on a couple of occasions, and that is first real sniff of a goal-scoring opportunity. He's been in good form recently, Tony Naylor, and he span away from the defence there, but unfortunately that was on the last of the spinning. As the ball landed, it went the wrong way. Hemmings tries the overhead kick. Wilson blocks it. Lennon away. Ryan puts it back in there. Little flick down from Carroll. Good turn from Hemmings, but good defensive work by Crewe. That's interesting. Gale goes up. Was he fouled? The referee says no. He checks with his linesman. The Crewe defenders and goalkeepers are aghast, and Tony Hemmings takes the celebration. What a calamity. It was Rowbottom's misclearance. He must take the blame for that. The goalkeeper came, Hemmings went at him. The goalkeeper must have had a good claim for a foul there, and Hemmings has equalised.
Ryan flicks. Hemmings backing into his Marcus Smith. Evans helps out. Thompson to Garner. Arriving a little bit too quickly was Stapleton. Now Guppy to the far post. Garner puts it in again, trying to catch the goalkeeper unawares, and that was very close. Garner trying to work on the nerves of Mark Gale. He's been around a long time as Simon Garner and benefited from some goalkeeping mistakes in his career. And Gale, who may be wondering whether the Wickham goal was his fault, was almost caught out, the sun glaring down in his eyes. Now Garner. Hemmings, has he got the speed to beat Gus Wilson to the ball? Flies across there, and that is textbook sweeping from the Crewe sweeper. Mark Gale about to face, well, it's going to be as good as a corner. This Cousins has a long throw, which he demonstrates. Gale comes, gets a fist to the ball, and then a knee to the ball. Well, I think he bailed himself out then. Mark Gale, after flapping at it. Not a particularly good clearance from Gus Wilson. Cousins. Wickham throwing players forward. Hemmings is in there. Gale had to come for it. But Smith took no risks and got his head to the ball first. Turn, sends the defender. Now what can he produce? Thinking about the shot, thinking hard about the shot, and cleared off the line with the goalkeeper beaten. Smith tries to get Ward away. Rowbottom in there as well, spins off the surface. Rowbottom was ready to pounce. Stapleton had to be sure. Now Booty gets forward, here's a chance, takes a deflection away from the goal. Evans with a shot and takes the ball, but the keeper keeps his eye on it, and Evans is stopped again. Well, his strength is in the air, but he proved that he has a powerful shot with both feet, hitting it well with his left foot, took a slight deflection, took a bobble, but Hyde's positioning was good. Well, Crewe wanted the advantage. Mr. Kane gives them a free kick. Lennon just holds play up, allowing McCauley and Evans to go forward. Be taken by Booty, teasing the goalkeeper. He comes for it, he gets contact with it, chance for Ward, and it's there! Well, McCauley was knocked out going for the ball, and who knows, Ashley Ward could have knocked Wickham out of this game. Lovely little set piece, brave play by McCauley, going up with the goalkeeper, taking a blow to the head, and very cool finishing from Ashley Ward, his second goal of the game. And the terraces come alive. Crewe are still playing with three attackers. This is Ward. Booty. Lennon turns, he's got time and space in midfield. Crewe just need to slow play down, but Ward's on a hat-trick. The defender didn't look too certain in there, gives it away to Rowbottom. Ward's in the middle, can he find him? Oh, catches the goalkeeper out and off the line. Unbelievable. What a wry smile on the face of Darren Rowbottom, and actually I think turned away then to celebrate the goal, and it rolled across the goal line. This was the incident, terrible defending. Rowbottom was almost odds-on cert to play it back. It took a deflection, went across the line, rolled back, looked as though it was going in, and somehow Creaser got it off the line. And the goalkeeper quite clearly out of his area there. Referee hadn't spotted it, the linesman had, and this is a very, very dangerous position.
If you've watched kick-off this season, you'll know that I can vouch that Sean Smith has a fair old shot in this kind of situation. He can play it with his right, Lennon can play it with his left, and not too many goalkeepers can stop these if they go on target. 2 men on the post, Smith hits the bar, comes back to Lennon, and the goalkeeper stands on his line and saves it. And almost another stunning Sean Smith goal. Radio's been checked around Gresty Row. They want to know how Preston are doing, but with this victory and Preston playing against Wycombe next week, Crewe are in a very strong position indeed. They leap above Wycombe into third place. Third place, of course, is the final automatic playoff space. Mass celebrations around Gresty Row, the fans spilling onto the field in good-natured fashion. Well, the players have been raised shoulder high by the fans, and the result has just been announced that Preston have lost. So Crewe move into third place on 70 points. Final score here is Crewe 2, Wycombe 1.
A draw was absolutely no good to us today. We might get away with a draw next week, I'm not sure, but we've got to think about... We know if we win the game, nobody can do anything about it. You know, Preston or whoever can win 10-0 and they've had it. If we win, we've won.
A very important win for you.
Yeah, it was tremendously important. It was a 2-game series. We had to win next week as well. But if we didn't win today, nothing was possible. We couldn't have gone up automatically, but we've given ourselves a chance now. We've got to get 3 points next week as well.
Certainly it's results, Jim, at this stage of the season, isn't it? That's all important. But what about the Crewe style? Was that back as well as getting back to winning ways, as it were?
Well, as much as possible, they tried to get it back. I thought Crewe deserved to win overall yesterday. They were the better side. But with so much at stake, the emphasis was always going to be on defence. And 7 or 8 defenders behind the ball every time. I mean, for attacking plays, there was just nowhere to go. And I think we can see here that as soon as the ball drops here for Tony Naylor in the middle of midfield, his first thought is to play it forward. What's on? But there's nothing there for him, so he's got to pull out, and he ends up playing the ball back behind him.
Exactly what Liverpool found against Norwich, by the way, yesterday. Now, Dario told us on Friday, Jim, that he put the onus on the players this week. Did they want to be known as successes or failures? Now, did that message get through? Did the penny drop?
No doubt about it. It only took a minute yesterday for that to get through, and you can see the commitment here. First, Martin Booty gets in with a great challenge. The ball comes in pretty central, and Darren Rowbottom in with another great challenge. They're really fired up, Crewe. Annan picks it up here, plays it in again. Lovely control from Rowbottom, and Ashley Ward coolly picks a spot. And that was a great goal, great start from him in the first minute.
He was very annoyed last Saturday about their sort of kamikaze tactics, if you like. Had he managed to rid them of those?
No, they're still making mistakes. Rowbottom sliced his attempted clearance, but the goalkeeper here, for me, should have took charge and should have got hold of the ball. I don't think it's a foul from Hemmings, the Wycombe striker. You can watch it here again. Smith's arm pushes Hemmings into the goalkeeper, but he's such a big lad, the goalkeeper. He should come and get that mark, Gale. He doesn't, and the 1-1. And you can see here again when the ball comes in, no communication with his defenders, ends up flapping at it, has to make a second save. Again now, comes out in no man's land, no call to the defender. He's off his line. Luckily, again, he just managed to get away with it.
And ironically, Crewe actually won the game through a similar kind of attempt to get the ball by the Wycombe goalkeeper.
Well, whatever's affecting the goalkeeper since the turn of the year at Crewe, I think it's contagious. And we could see here from the Crewe winner, when the ball comes in, the goalkeeper comes off his line. He's never going to get there, and it falls perfectly for Ashley Ward. And he's got the simplest of tasks to tap the ball into a near empty net.
Thanks very much indeed, Jim. Just to confirm yet again that Jim did actually see the 90 minutes of that game this morning. Well, before yesterday, Preston still had an out. But when push came to shove, they had to win at Chester yesterday. Ali again.
It was party time for the fans of Chester City, delighting in the glow of already having been promoted. The Crewe fans, by contrast, were tempering their joy with caution. Only a win would guarantee them automatic promotion. It's at times like this that fans remember the downs while enjoying the ups. Chester manager Graham Barrow was relaxed as he came out, but in reflective mood.
To keep forking out money to go to a place like Macclesfield to watch your own team play, like 40 miles down the road, I mean, they have to really go down. It's probably, I mean, managers say this about their own supporters, but the diehards here must go down as the best in the country.
For Dario Gradi, his silent deliberations were probably focused on what might have already been.
You can always, at this stage of the season, look back at the 2 points. I mean, maybe just 2 draws instead of 2 defeats. We'd both be enjoying ourselves this afternoon. As it is, there's only one team enjoying it at the moment so far.
Dario Gradi was nearly enjoying it within the first minute. This is straight from the kick-off. The ball breaking for Ashley Ward. Maybe because it came so early was the only reason he didn't put the ball away. Good save though to Dave Felgate, who made a number of fine saves during the afternoon. And as it turned out, it was Chester City who drew first blood. Set-piece corner, deep to the back towards Colin Greenall, flicked into the net by Chris Lightfoot, 1-0 inside the first 10 minutes. But then a breathtaking equaliser, a brilliant free kick from Tony Naylor, curling it over the wall into the corner, and Crewe were on level terms. The best chances fell the way of Crewe throughout the afternoon. Naylor once again showing his pace to get away from the outstretched legs of Greenall, and a good save again from Felgate to deny him. The pattern was much the same in the second half. The usual football working well down the left, Neil Lennon's excellent work, and the header goal bound by Steve McCauley blocked on the line. In the end though, the winner and the goal which takes them into Division 2 was an absolute blistering drive from Ashley Ward. Worthy of winning any game, worthy of taking any side into a high division, worthy of another look. Wallop. And so it's just a matter of biting a few more fingernails and awaiting the inevitable final whistle. Jubilation for Crewe, they'll join Chester in Division 2 next season, courtesy of Hero Ward.
It's tremendous. We had a bad experience last year. We didn't want that at any cost this year, and you can see what it means to everyone. It's a big thing for the fans of Crewe, and it's a big thing for the players.
It's nice to think that I'm probably the only manager, I think, in the Crewe's history that's taken them up twice. Now the only thing against that is I also took them down. But we've got to try to be successful within our means, and that's not easy.
No, it never is, but all credit to them. Shrewsbury, Chester and Crewe are the three promoted teams in the third division. Here's Rob McCaffrey again with the
lead, but credit to Booty for the little slip ball in there. Sold the keeper. Lovely footwork from Garvey, 1-0. Well, it rather hit the side of Gavin, and now a chance for Morton, and he's gone all the way. And a fine save from Mark Smith to deny him. Booty. Crossing with a left foot this time. It's a looping header, and it would have cut under the bar. Collier's header tipped over by Farnworth. Right, Morton. Little flick inside, invites Gavin to shoot! Well, the invitation came and Gavin thumped it in. Superb equaliser, and Wigan a level at a time when they were in the ascendancy. Little 1-2, and Annan again! Superb shot from Annan, just fizzed over. Walters, nice ball, Garvey, it's gone in from Ward. 2-1 to Crewe. Morton. Campbell has time to look up. Well, it was almost a Kilford. Oh, super save from Smith. Into the final minutes, and Wigan nearly had an equaliser, but for that outstretched right hand.
Did you almost see a mini Crewe developing down at Wigan?
Yes, if he gets long enough, he'll do that sort of work. They've got some good youth schemes in operation anyway, which they can perhaps expand a little bit.
I always think, if you're playing a bit of football, it's easier to entice players into your club. That was a philosophy that Crewe have adopted over the years. I mean, I've stood in that dressing room there when opposition have knocked on the door saying, look, if there's any chance of me playing for this club, give us a shout. I think it's always easy when you play football to attract players.
So began with a tricky away game at York City. Steve McCauley gave them the lead. York City then equalised later on, but 3 minutes from time, Dario Gradi's men pinched all 3 points. McCauley once again up from the back. To football with ease. Last week's win at York, followed on by this equally impressive win at home to Rotherham. Darren Rowbottom taking just 8 minutes to give them the lead. Francis Tierney had made it 2 before Rowbottom then turned provider, inviting Ashley Ward to place a neat shot accurately into the corner. Rotherham pulled back a late consolation.
Runway at the top, Crewe here in red,
also hit 5 at Peterborough. Darren Rowbottom grabbing there first, the newly promoted side really starting to turn a few heads. And before Peterborough could recover, it was 2-0. Rowbottom again with this cracking 20-yarder, and they'd barely played 7 minutes. Number 3 arrived just before the interval. The initial cross was too long, but Wayne Collins returned it with interest. Peterborough were virtually dead and buried. But Crewe did anything but sit back. Sean Smith's neatly taken penalty made it 4-0. And a real beauty for number 5, who says it's all kick and rush in Division 2. This much more like give and go, and a sparkling finish from Ashley Ward. Peterborough did get a consolation from David Morrison near the end, but they also had Marcus Ebden sent off. The referee saw it as deliberate. And Sean Smith buried the spot kick. 2-0 and Alex were cruising, but Chris Beach put Blackpool back in the match with a free kick straight out of the coaching manual. And before Crewe could recover, it was 2-2. Phil Brown's cross, James Quinn's header and Andy Watson on hand to pick up the pieces. Second half now, but no let-up in the scoring. Billy Barr given a free header. Blackpool's equaliser was controversial. Ashley Ward ruled to have handled in this scramble. And Ryan Griffiths gratefully did the necessary. But the Division 2 leaders are irresistible at the moment, and a minute from time, Martin Booty found the target. They're now 2 points clear at the top.
And that's since Dario Gradi took over the reins 11 years ago. Ashley Ward's headed goal, his 6th of the campaign, proved enough.
Half, and that from the penalty spot, after Mickham Hyde was ruled to have fouled Gareth Wally. Sean Smith tucked it away, but there was no hint of the goal rush to come. Wayne Collins started it, and at 2-0 there looked to be no way back for a Cambridge side yet to win away this season. But they responded within 4 minutes. When their shot came back off the woodwork, Carlo Corazin had the simplest of tasks to make it 2-1. But it didn't take Crewe too long to restore their advantage. Ashley Ward beat his marker and the keeper to the ball for his 13th goal of the season. And Crewe's 4th followed soon afterwards, Collins with his 2nd and a real no-nonsense first-time finish. 4-1. Corazin did get one back 3 minutes from time, but Cambridge stay in the bottom 4 and they're in real trouble. Remember, it's 5 to go.
Still in the Cup Winners' Cup, of course. They stood 7th, and Tony Gubber is the commentator.
Carrow Road is anxious to get its first look at the player they hope will replace £5 million Chris Sutton. 24-year-old Ashley Ward has been the top goal scorer for Crewe in the 2nd Division this season, and now, just 48 hours after his transfer, he's asked to step up 2 divisions and face Chelsea in the Premier League. Well, Ward comes straight into a team whose goal tally has been down by almost 45% since Sutton's departure. He replaces Rob Newman as Mark Robins' partner. They'll be testing a Chelsea defence today, which has had to make one change. Erland Jonsson is back after a 3-match ban, but Jakob Kjellberg was injured in training in midweek and he's missing. Joe Worrell, the referee, on a blustery afternoon. And as Norwich start this fixture, they are unbeaten at home this season in all competitions, 11 matches in all, although they haven't scored too many goals in the league, just 15 between them, which is 2 less than Ashley Ward has scored on his own for Crewe. Just 1 appearance in the league for Manchester City, where he spent the first 5 years of his career. Just Furlong, Barnes. Preston who puts it out. Spencer finding Barnes. And Norwich had 2 to do the job. This is Wise. Gavin Peacock. Oh, he stepped away from him very well, up to the back post. Spencer waits. He headed it down, John Spencer, and that helped to take a bit of the pace off it, and it wasn't that firmly headed either, so it wasn't difficult for Brian Gunn. Eddie Newton. Wise finding himself a little bit of room, plays it nicely inside Carl Bradshaw. Good run by Peacock, good delivery too. Newsom's header is finally gathered by Brian Gunn, but I think the referee has maybe blown for a foul anyway. But that was an attractive bit of football by Chelsea. Dennis Wise involved right inside the right back, and Gavin Peacock with a lot of time to look and try and pick somebody out. Newsom's header went up in the air, and yes, there was a push in the back of the defender, which is why Joe Worrell blew. Bradshaw. Wise cut it out. Game Wise popping up in space. Here's Furlong. Oh, the defender John Paulson went down. Furlong. He had choices and opted finally to give it a right blast. He was let free when John Paulson lost his footing. And maybe just knocked it a little bit further forward than he wanted then, Furlong, and that made his mind up for him. Anthony Barnes has been involved in 13 games this season. Signed from Charlton back in 1992. Here's Spencer. Now Dennis Wise. Switching it to the left side where Minto's come forward. Furlong knocks it in. It was well directed, well saved by Gunn. He didn't make a great fuss about it. He just picked it out of the air. Furlong had directed it right up into that top corner. Dennis Wise just neatly stepping away from trouble. Barnes. And the fullback continuing his run. And he's kept it in play. Good shot by Spencer. And it's forced another save from Brian Gunn. And Chelsea do look lively. Ian Crook. Now, good chance on here. Such fine save, Karine. Although you'd have to say that Darryl Such should have beaten him. Well, a Premier League player in that sort of position, you'd have to think he ought to score. Not give the keeper a chance to make a good stop. Eddie Newton. This is Wise. Spackman. And it's a lively match. Although neither side has fashioned a goal. Wise to Spencer. Hits it on the volley. Oh my goodness me. What a super strike by John Spencer. And look how well he's found by Dennis Wise. And prepared to hit a ball dropping like that on the volley, and it was only just over the top. And that coming a couple of seconds after Darryl Such should really have opened the scoring. He didn't make it difficult enough for Karine. Mark Robbins. Crook, first time. Eadie will get to it and keeps possession. Now, cuts it back. The new boy has scored. What a start for the man they hope will replace Chris Sutton. It's a tall order to fill the boots of the country's most expensive striker. But when Eadie got free, he looked up, and there was the player arriving where he ought to do, at the near post. A touch of confidence from a player who has scored 10 goals in the 6 games previous to today, 17 in total for Crewe this season, and already beginning to justify his transfer. This is Edie, who always sets off at 100 miles an hour when he's in possession. That's a scything tackle by Sinclair, which will bring a free kick and a rebuke from Joe Worrell. And Norwich have got 5 to look for in the box. Crook. Darryl Such had the shot, off Minto, corner. Only 3 league appearances last season from Darryl Such, but he's involved in the last 9 matches for Norwich. Edie with the corner. Robbins kept his balance. It's a second goal, but who gets it? Ward had the final touch, but it may have been over the line before then from Mark Robbins. It'll have to be a debate in the dressing room. Robbins had taken up a terrific position. In on Kari, and it's a Ward goal. It wouldn't have gone in. He's got his second right on the stroke of half-time. And you couldn't have wished for a better start for a new career in the top flight. First half of his first appearance at Norwich, having been saddled with the responsibility of replacing Chris Sutton, and then the substitute scoring within literally seconds of coming on the field. And Ashley Ward is the new name which Norwich supporters will be happy to chant.
I'd worked with him at Manchester City as a youngster. I knew what ability he had got. I think, to be fair to say, I think he's a late developer. He's only played 90 minutes so far, but he's definitely got the capacity to improve physically and technically, and that's what we'll work at throughout the rest of the season.
You were knocking in the goals for Crewe in the 2nd division, but what did you think, honestly, when John Dean came in for you?
Well, I was delighted, you know. The first thought was, what a great chance. The second thought was, what a long way away it is. But I'm delighted to be here.
John Dean didn't give you very long, did he? But you didn't...
Yeah, Norwich played well. I thought Chelsea did exceptionally well the first 20 minutes. But once the first goal went in, the result was never in doubt. I think John Dean will be delighted with the performance, with the 3 points, and especially with his new signing, Ashley Ward, who's got 2 goals in his debut.
And well done, Jamie Curitan. A 13-second...
But still come away with a point. Crewe's opener inside a quarter of an hour was fully deserved. Danny Murphy finishing off the move. When Jason Cousins was red-carded and Wickham were reduced to 10 men, an equaliser seemed an unlikely prospect. But Steve McGavin battled on, won a penalty, and his spot kick earned Wickham a draw. Alan Smith was less than impressed. His first-team squad was forced to turn in for something.
Paul Baker finished. 1-0 after 14 minutes, but Crewe equalised 15 minutes later through Rob Savage. Crewe went on to record their first league win of the season. Dele Adebola made the most of a York defence that didn't do what it's paid to do. That was his first, and the Nigerian added his second and Crewe's third with 10 minutes to go. A little bit of luck coupled with persistence did the trick. A last-minute goal from striker Paul Barnes provided York with little consolation.
Instead, he's forced to play up front. He's proving quite a hit there. Only 7 minutes had been played when he swept in Rob Edwards' cross. And they built on that encouraging start. With the Shrewsbury defence caught out again, Francis Tierney slid home the second. Ashley Westwood's looping header made it 3-0.
Well, they were given a helping hand by Bournemouth keeper Ian Andrews, whose fumble left Gareth Wally a tap-in. Definitely not Bournemouth's day. They had Neil Young and Adrian Pennock sent off, and Mark Morris beat his own keeper with an unstoppable header. It's 10 goals in 3 games now for Crewe. Few better than this one, a well-timed run by Danny Murphy and a composed finish for an 18-year-old. Crewe are unbeaten away from home, and the latest success capped by Rob Savage's penalty.
It made an ideal start to their tie at Crewe. Peter Ellerton's cross was spooned in by a Belgian international, Mark de Greiser. Wrexham's Rob Edwards was to have a decisive hand in this match. Here he was denied by Kevin Pressman. This splendid move involving Steve McGarvey and Wayne Collins ended with Edwards drawing the sides level midway through the first half. Sheffield Wednesday and Mark de Greiser claimed their second goal of the match 10 minutes from half-time. Crewe's persistence paid off, and 13 minutes from full-time gained a much-deserved equaliser. And whatever Mark de Greiser could do, so too could Rob Edwards. Crewe are now unbeaten in 22 games.
Well, I think we'll enjoy it. I think we'll look forward to it. They won't freeze at Hillsborough. They'll play the same way, because we play the same way anyway.
Success. Crewe's Danny Murphy gave them a scare when he side-footed home Steve Garvey's cross on the half-hour. Andy Priest has found his feet at Bloomfield Road. He replied for Blackpool as he bundled the ball over the line for his 5th goal of the season. And it was Priest who set up strike partner Tony Ellis for the winner. It ended Crewe's unbeaten run, stretching back 22 games. At the expense of last season's 3rd Division champions Carlisle, they've also got a game in hand on Swindon. All 3 goals came in 6 minutes early in the second half. Rob Savage just squeezed home the penalty kick. A heart-stopping moment for the captain. Visiting keeper Tony Elliott did his best to keep the scoreline down, but when he beat out Wayne Collins' drive, Rob Edwards was there to follow up. Rory Delap managed a consolation goal, but Carlisle must sort out their problems in defence. They've conceded more goals on their travels than any other team in the division.
Steve McMahon's quick thinking put Swindon in control against Crewe in their top-of-the-table clash. He started the move with a quick free kick, and the ever-dangerous Wayne Allison converted Mark Robinson's cross for the opening goal. Crewe boss Dario Gradi will be less than happy with the marking at the back post. He would, however, have been delighted with his team's response. Steve Garvey producing a moment of magic which seemed to have earned Crewe a point. A superb weaving run and a classic finish, and well worth a second look. But 3 minutes from time, a rash challenge on Swindon striker Steve Finney resulted in a penalty and Swindon taking the points. Finney stood up to score from the spot kick despite Mark Gale's best efforts. The keeper unlucky with the spin on the ball. But even then, Crewe nearly salvaged a point with a last gasp effort. Deep into injury time, and Rob Savage put through on goal, but he was denied by some expert keeping by Fraser Digby. Swindon goes 7 points clear. Crewe turned in yet another impressive display at home to Brentford. Teenager Mark Rivers making a big impact on his debut with 2 goals inside 38 minutes. Rivers firstly punishing sloppy Brentford defending with this incisive strike, and then adding a second with this emphatic finish. Defender Ashley Westwood then rose high in the second half to head in Crewe's 3rd and cap a dominating display by the home side. But with the points now secured, it was Crewe's turn to lose concentration at the back. Nicky Forster stealing in for a goal right on full time, but Crewe still in hot pursuit of the leaders Swindon.
And in 3 minutes, Steve McCauley was at fault. He made a mess of this attempted clearance. Sean Gota hammered in his 13th of the season. The equaliser wasn't long coming. 9 minutes later, Rob Savage was presented with a free header from Rob Edwards' centre, and Crewe were level. It was Paul Blades who restored the home side's advantage with a perfect header. Steve McCauley then atoned for his costly error, which had gifted Rotherham the lead with a late strike. It came 2 minutes from time and was enough to earn Crewe.
Been so many different permutations at the back for Swansea City this season. Catalogue of injuries. And almost let in for the first goal, and indeed it has been let in for the first goal by Rob Edwards. So many good young players that come through the Crewe Alexandra stable. And Danny Rivers the latest of them, but here's Pascoe, who's not a bad player either, and that's a terrific strike. Murphy again. Patient stuff. And in the end, there's no offside flag, and Rivers scores this time. Good tackle from Collins as Swansea tried to build. Chris Edwards almost broke for Worley, almost broke for Adebola, will break for Edwards. 3-1. Murphy. And still, all the way, could be a terrific goal, and it is! The best till last.
0 the margin of victory. It could and should have been greater. David Rush stretched United's unbeaten run to 5 games. Their best.
Crewe must view Blackpool in that light, and the Seasiders were on their way to a hat-trick of wins over them when Tony Ellis netted his shot wide of Mark Gale. Ellis is on the transfer list, and Andy Watson has been in dispute with the club all season, but the pair were committed to Blackpool's cause, and when Watson headed in Mickey Mellon's cross, Crewe were condemned to their first home defeat since March. They did rally to get themselves on the score sheet through Rob Edwards, but as Dario Gradi said, Crewe didn't so much lose as run out of time.
As Rain, where second met third, 1 goal settled it 4 minutes before half-time, scored by Crewe's Steve McCauley. They move above their promotion rival. They took full advantage of Bristol Rovers' dreadful home form. 4 minutes later, the Rovers' defence was caught out again as Mark Rivers knocked in Crewe's seconds. Rovers were making...
West Brom are having a terrible time at the moment. 11 league defeats in succession in Division 1, and no cup luck for them today as they conceded 3 goals in 9 minutes. With an hour registered, Crewe moved 4-1 in front through Danny Murphy. That was surely the end of West Brom. But then the second division leaders went to sleep as Albion started to fight back. Lee Ashcroft crossed and Paul Raven got on the end of it, 4-2. Albion were in the hunt, but Crewe held firm until 4 minutes from time when Stacey Caldecott from 25 yards gave them real hope, 4-3. Were we about to see the comeback of the day? Well, the answer would have been yes, had Kevin Donovan taken his chance. He didn't, and Albion were out.
And it's gone in. Tinney, an early ball, tries to release Nugent, battling against Barr. Nugent's there, and Kevin Nugent has found the back of the net, and City are 2-1 up. Worley's kick, Welsh calls for it, Welsh has lost it, and Crewe have equalised. It's 2-2. Header by Nugent. Maskell's lay off to Hewlett. Nearly went all the way. Nugent! Kevin Nugent is second of the game. City are back in front.
Penalty, a disallowed goal. It wasn't their day as Crewe strengthened their promotion challenge with Mark Rivers on the score sheets at Gresty Roads. Their manager Dario Gradi has money available to improve the squad and intends to dip into the transfer market in the next week or so. Neil Lennon struck on the stroke of half-time with his effort just crossing the line. The Wycombe striker John Williams had a goal ruled out. Worse was to follow as Steve McGavin's spot kick was saved.
1,000 tonnes of snow to ensure the game against second division Crewe could be played. And after 5 minutes, some Saints fans wanted it shovelled back on. A nightmare start for the Premier League club. Gareth Wally's cross fell inside the far post. Southampton then proceeded to waste chance after chance to equalise. And had Dave Besson not been sharp enough to race back to his goal to stop Rod Edwards scoring from fully 45 yards out, the Premier League club would surely have been dumped out of the cup. As it turns out, they live to fight another day, a replay at Gresty Road next Tuesday. Who else but Matt Le Tissier came up trumps after 64 minutes when he ended a 3-month spell without a goal. And it was a real ace he played, typical Le Tissier. 1-1 the score.
He saw his Burnley side suffer another setback at home. Rob Edwards with the only goal of the game to keep Crewe second in the table. Blackpool boss Sam
Brighton, but it was the home team that was caught cold. Neil Lennon's through ball, Rob Edwards getting on the end of it. Edwards is hot at the moment, and when Sean Smith slung over the cross, watch out for Edwards again, the first to react to make it 2 in 90 minutes, and for him 4 in 3 games. The Brighton of old would have laid down to die, but rather than face the wrath of Jimmy Case, they hit back. Dean Wilkins' free kick finding the net without any assistance. Crewe are still in an automatic promotion place, but Dario Gradi would be furious with the careless defending that culminated in Peter Smith breasting in a late Brighton equaliser.
Road. The crowd got a taste of what was to come early on when Mark Gale's spectacular save set the tone for the evening's entertainment. Stockport started brightly, hoping to build on 2 away wins that have helped put them back in playoff contention, forcing Gale to make another reaction save, this time off Jeff Eckhart. Stockport keeper Neil Edwards didn't escape incident, though for him it was of a different nature, ending up in the ref's book for apparently handling outside the box. The resulting free kick by Billy Barr was deflected high over by Lee Todd. Shortly after, Ashley Westwood released Dele Adebola, who should have done better. Crewe certainly were to rue that one, along with many others. A similar move in the other direction, though, was equally fruitless, and as Crewe threatened to assume control, Neil Lennon unleashed a lethally dipping shot, the man who's currently the controversial subject of bids from Coventry and Leicester City. A slip by Stockport's Mike Flynn allowed in Crewe's Sean Smith, whose shot finally found its way to Rob Edwards, who contrived to somehow hit the post. And although Lennon retrieved the ball, his shot flew over his teammates, to be thankfully cleared by Durkin. Just before half-time, Mark Rivers toyed with Stockport's hapless defenders. He did well to finally get clear, though his shot was confidently held by Edwards. After the break, Crewe camped out in Stockport's goalmouth, and it began to dawn it wasn't going to be their night. This time Rivers played the ball into Dele Adebola, who again was foiled by Edwards at point-blank range. On one of the few occasions when Stockport retrieved the ball and broke clear themselves towards their own supporters, Alan Armstrong too was found wanting, with his sights on goal. Crewe were really the only team who looked like scoring. They again contrived to hit the post in another goalmouth scramble. Stockport had rode their luck and rallied in the final minutes. Chris Marston forced desperate defending from Billy Barr, and from the resulting corner, the ball fell clear to Jeff Eckhart, who beat the keeper, but not the bar. But perhaps it was inevitable. Having been let off the hook so many times by Crewe, Stockport got out of jail to somewhat fortunately claim the points, with Jeff Eckhart's injury time strike.
As they kept up the pressure on the leading 2, they stay third after this victory. 12 minutes from time, Wayne Collins had the beating of visiting keeper Ian Andrews. And 2 minutes later, Rob Edwards, who's operating on a week-to-week contract at Gresty Road, claimed his 17th of the season. He'll hope it's enough to earn him a new deal at the club. He netted 2 first-half goals in 6 minutes. Crewe's top scorer was on the end of Steve Garvey's cross. That after 13 minutes. And if he keeps up this sort of scoring rate, Dario Gradi's team could be in line for promotion. He made it 2-0 shortly afterwards, making space for himself and then unleashing a low shot wide of keeper Andy Marriott. Wrexham's reply came before the interval. As to their credit, they fought their way back into the match. Wayne Phillips' shot was kept out, but Martin Chalk, following up, was left with a simple task. Rob Edwards completed his hat-trick 5 minutes after the restarts. The hosts paid the penalty for their failure to clear a corner kick. Edwards, who's bang-in form, took the chance well, and Crewe were on course for victory. Tony Humes pulled a goal back 10 minutes from time, but an equaliser proved beyond them, and Crewe hold on to third spot.
And Crewe's out-of-contract striker Rob Edwards. He cost just £150,000. He scored a wonderful debut goal 15 minutes from the end to turn Huddersfield's possession into points.
Their promotion rivals took all 3 points. John French brought the game to life with Rovers' first of the afternoon. 2 minutes after the break, Crewe's response was almost immediate. Within 4 minutes, Mark Rivers had made it all square. But Marcus Stewart, the Ainslie League's joint leading scorer, kept Rovers' season on track. Goal number 26 for the club's prize assets, and only a goal-line clearance prevented them from adding to that lead. Crewe manager Dario Gradi will hope the arrival of on-loan striker Gary Blissett could make all the difference. Promotion chasing Crewe, their second in successive games. They were 2 down inside 15 minutes. Ken Charlery needed just 2 minutes to put his name on the score sheet. Lee Power then used his strength to hold off the Crewe defence and doubled Peterborough's lead with a perfectly placed effort. Dario Gradi's side have been leaking goals at an alarming rate, but they staged a second-half revival and they were handed a lifeline 18 minutes after the break. Sean Smith slotted home the penalty kick. But within 2 minutes, Charlery had restored Peterborough's 2-goal advantage. Not the most clinical of finishes, but when defenders hand you this amount of space, the result is inevitable.
But had their fans used the pantomime shout, "Look, he's behind you," Mark Stallard might not have scored. No pantomime about Crewe's equaliser, though, just the slick build-up we've come to expect, and an unstoppable header by Dili Adibola. Bradford have been let down by their away form this season, but they clinched victory this time with one of the goals of the day, scored by Richard Liebert.
Playoff picture after this emphatic victory. Chesterfield, who occupy a top 6 place, had no answer to Dili Adibola. 5 minutes gone when he took apart their defence single-handed. Young Danny Murphy then profited from their failure to defend a free kick. The 19-year-old is already attracting the attention of a number of top clubs. And his second goal of the game arrived on 67 minutes. It effectively ended the contest. Crewe ran out winners by 3-0. Playoff right.
Dario Gradi. It's now 5 defeats out of 7. Jeff Thorpe's cross for Paul Conway, and 3 vital points for the strugglers at the...
To go, they're now struggling to hold on in there. Steve McCauley gave them the start they've been looking for, only 3 minutes played. But Brentford appear to raise their game against the top sides. They rallied in the second half. Robert Taylor had forgotten what it's like to score. 2 goals in the final 10 minutes to end a barren run of a dozen matches without a goal, and his second came right on the stroke of full-time. Dave Webb's Brentford looks safe. Lost 1 in 15. Kevin Horlock certainly enjoyed a happy Easter. His second goal of the holiday programme came at Gresty Road. That's after 27 minutes. And 2 minutes after the interval, David Priest, who was loaned out by Derby County, put the match beyond their hosts. Crewe have now lost 3 games in a row, and manager Dario Gradi will hope it's no more than a temporary hiccup.
It's been resolved so far this season. Hull City are relegated because
Crewe himself, and he was soon tormenting Hull at Boothbury Park. His pass converted by Wimbledon loan player Brian McAllister. Crewe came a cropper in this fixture last season, 7-1, but there's never any danger of a repeat once Danny Murphy's cracking shot confirmed what we've known for weeks, that Hull are going down. They did have the last lap on Saturday, and there haven't been too many of those for their long-suffering supporters this season. The second goal coming up in 4 games for 16-year-old Gavin Gordon.
bet for the second automatic promotion spots. Crewe, who are struggling to stay in the frame for the playoffs, fell behind on 11 minutes. Paul Moody did the damage with one of the best goals he'll score for some time. Expertly taken and celebrated in style. They stretched their leads. Joey Beecham, who's back where he belongs, was on the end of David Rush's cross. And Oxford were 2 in front and in sight of the vital 3 points. They had Stuart Massey sent off. Crewe replied through a headed effort by Steve McCauley. Oxford held on. Victory at Peterborough will secure promotion.
And we spent £160,000 on players this year, which is a fortune for us. And you also have to remember that if we don't get relegated this year, and there's not much chance of that, that will be the first time in our history we've ever been able to go up and stay up for more than 2 seasons.
The gospel according to Dario. Well, the commentator at a wet and very muddy Gresty Road tonight is Mike Sadler.
Well, it couldn't be wetter than here at Gresty Road tonight. Difficult service for both sides, and it's got to be said, Peterborough coping better. That's dangerous. Smith really doesn't clear it. Here's Ebden. A good job. Gale was more alert than his defenders there. Peterborough player coach Ken Charlery enjoying something. He may get the ball from Ebden. This is a chance, and once again Gale in the opening 10 minutes alert to the danger. It's got to be said, Crewe haven't really threatened. That's Sean Smith with a long free kick. That's Lightfoot. Oh my word, off the crossbar. Well, Chris Lightfoot rubs his head. Sean Smith's free kick looked really innocuous, but Lightfoot's header had beaten the keeper. What can Crewe do from this corner? Near post. A Savage at the far post, still may fall. Here's McCauley. Should have done better with that. Well, I think in fairness, in the opening 40 minutes or so, Peterborough have given as good as they've got, and Marcus Ebden has been at the centre of much of it. That's a hopeful ball. Grazzoli should be beaten by Lightfoot. Does well though, the striker. And once again, Gale is there. That's his 3rd save. Well, this really is a very difficult pitch. Wet, and I think determination is the key word here. Well, that's determination from McCauley. May fall for Rivers. Great chance and a great finish. Mark Rivers with a vital goal for Crewe. He is the local boy. He's from Crewe itself. And that was composure personified. 1-0 to the Alex. John Sheffield will take the kick. Voted Player of the Year at Peterborough, actually, the keeper. Hasn't had a great deal to do so far tonight, except pick the ball out of the net once. Hopefully, from an Alex point of view, he'll have to do so again. Here's Mark Rivers, the goal scorer, looking to chip it in. McCauley's the target. Good header down. Little back to goal. Turns. Oh, what a finish! What a great finish from Colin Little. The man from Hyde, £50,000 he cost. But goodness me, that goal really is worth every penny. It's 2-0. Well, we've seen, what, 20 minutes of the second half or so, and I think the Gresty Road fans may be a little disappointed with the second period after a busy first half. Here's Ken Charlery trying to change that. Support from Simon Clark. Men around him. One of them's Lee Power. Good turn. This is dangerous, and that's 2-1. Giuliano Grazioli, the finisher. Fine finish too, but really it was made by Power. Look at that turn. He left Wayne Collins for dead. His cross was inch perfect, and Grazioli simply had to finish it. And still they come, Peterborough United. They've only won 1 in 8, but they're determined not to give up easily here. Charlery with an opening. Well, it was a snapshot, and it wasn't far away. Crewe desperate for that final whistle, really. Wayne Collins going forward, though. Maybe they could pinch a third. This could be interesting. Rivers, now McCauley, inside the area, and it just wouldn't sneak through. You can sense the crowd here urging referee George Kane to blow that final whistle. Is he? Yes, he has. Crewe have done it. That's the win that secures their playoff place. Steve McCauley, Wayne Collins, they've done it. Crewe have beaten Peterborough 2-1.
I'm delighted that we've got there. You know, there's good teams. They're all going to be good teams now around us. We found out with Swindon and Oxford that came here recently. Very good teams. Peterborough have only just managed to avoid relegation, and they're a good team. Rotherham are below mid-table. They came here and beat us. So the likes of Notts County and Blackpool, I mean Blackpool have already beaten us 3 times. They're going to be very, very hard games. But I think now we're all much the same. I think we've all got 25% chance.
So they're into
these 2 players went, and they've had a pretty disastrous run since then. But it is good to see them in the playoffs. I'm a fan because you don't see many teams playing purist passing football in the lower divisions. And Dario Gradi is trying to play the right way for me.
But that's the way they do business, Jim. If they need to sell players, it doesn't seem to matter what, I mean, which players they are or what stage of the season it is. That he'll balance the books. That's his priority. He says they're a selling club, not a buying club.
Of course. I mean, it was funny just listening to him talking there, saying £160,000 they spent, and that's a fortune for us. I mean, £160,000 nowadays, it's nothing really. But he's got a fabulous school of excellence, and he keeps bringing so many good young players through, and it won't stop. I'm sure that they'll probably sell another couple for a few bob early next season, maybe.
Let's hope they get to Wembley and they'll be able to afford to buy a couple. That would be a novelty for Dario, wouldn't it?
Country manager saw his relegated team end their league campaign with a flourish. The club's top marksman, Steve Torpey, on target again 10 minutes before half-time. That lead was cancelled out early in the second half. Mark Rivers with the equaliser for playoff certainty's Crewe. And with only 4 minutes left, David Thomas secured only their 8th league triumph at the Vetch. If Swansea can reproduce performances like this, Mulvey will be hopeful they can come back up.
The prize on offer, a day out at Wembley Stadium for the second division playoff final. Notts County start as favourites as a result of their comeback at Gresty Road on Sunday. And remember, if the scores are level, then away goals count double. And here Notts County with Tony Garner allowing the ball to run right underneath his foot. It's not quite a simple equation tonight. Crewe have to score, that's one thing that's for sure. And now Notts County have chances here. Finnan into the area. There's the cross. It could have been put through his own goal almost. And that really was an unnerving moment for the Crewe defence as Finnan cracked it in. And we're a minute into time added on. And Mr. Lynch has seen enough. And he sends the players away to the dressing room. Still everything to play for at Meadow Lane. No goals in the first 45 minutes. It's still 2-2, the aggregate score. Howard Wilkinson, the Leeds United manager, among the interested spectators. David Pleat just on his left. You got a glimpse of him there. Well, there's certainly nothing pretty about this match. Murphy, the latest one to clatter the ball forward. And onside, says the referee. Martindale into the area. Doesn't get it on the shot. Doesn't cross the line either. There was no strength on Martindale's shot. It was still too hot for Gale though. It trickled past him and hit the inside of the upright and stayed out for the clearance to be effected. Such a quality there from Crewe. And here goes Adebola. And he might be in here. Dele Adebola. He's still got the chance if he can squeeze it in. Oh, how close can you go without scoring? Missed everybody. Found its way into Battersby inside the area. He's very strong and he's done well there. And Garner has knocked a cross up here towards Finnan. And there's the goal for Martindale, which could be good enough to take Notts County to Wembley. Up from Savage. Flicked up here. Adebola's in! What a save by Ward with the feet. The ball is for Adebola. Again, he lunges on. He's got it into the area. Chances here. Oh, wonderful save by Ward. Rivers can't believe it. Battersby gives chase. Loses it to Savage, though. And Crewe have at least half a dozen in the area. It's in there. There's the header. Here's Unsworth again. Hits it across. Must surely go in, Adebola. And how did that not go in? Some incredibly bad luck there for Crewe Alexandra. Notts County under siege with 2 minutes to go. And Dario Gradi's down on the touchline. You must have been wondering why they didn't play like this earlier. Here's another corner for them. The keeper stays on his line. It's flicked away.
and Finnan's got the chance to break. Well, Mark Gale's not sure what to do. He wants to get up there into the action. It's laid up. Here's another chance for Westwood, and Ward makes the save again. It's another Crewe corner. Incredible scenes here at Meadow Lane. And Darren Ward is so much the hero of the moment, but there is still time for Crewe. It's knocked in there again. The keeper comes, he gets his fist to the ball and punches it out for yet another Crewe corner. All eyes in Nottingham are on Mr. Lynch, the little man in black, and that is it. Notts County go to Wembley. Dario Gradi shakes hands with his old friend Colin Murphy, says well done to him. Murphy and Steve Thompson have led Notts County back for yet another Wembley appearance.
We came here to win. We thought we could win. We changed our game pattern in order to win.